Everyone, they call me the governor, and I'm here with this crew. We're going to talk about the second season finale of season 10 for The Walking Dead. Here's Negan. You can see Lucille holding Lucille over here, so she will cause you pain. So let's get right to it, because this episode, I'd have to say, personally, I thought was the best of the bonus episodes. It actually touched my dried, rotting heart a little bit. So we're going to go around and we're going to start with Lucille, aka Jazz. I just want to start out with the banishment first. Let's not get everything. So let's talk about the banishment and all that. What did you think about him being banished by the council?
I kind of saw it coming, but I mean, we'll see if it stays, because, well, I think we'll probably get to talk about it some more about it later on as we talk through the episode, but it made sense for the time.
Sarah, Mama?
I have to agree. I kind of see it as one of those, why even banishment? Like, why would you want to be there? I mean, I definitely get wanting community, but also you kind of terrorize the community. So I don't know if I would want to stay or if I would want to just get totally gone out of the whole scenario. But yeah, if the council had voted on it, I definitely understand it.
And Michonne?
Of course, me being the Glenn lover, I can completely understand why Maggie wouldn't want to see Negan. She came home with her child, kind of happy to see everybody, and then he rained on her parade. She shouldn't have to look at her husband's murderer every day, all day. He's just there, smiling, happy, alive. I think Negan took it bad because I honestly don't think Negan is the type of person that does good alone, period. Just, he needs somebody ear to talk off, or he's going to lose his mind.
Yeah, he is a talker. I actually think the banishment was totally just Carol. It wasn't the council. The council didn't decide on shit. Mm-hmm. Carol just said, I'm going to take it into my own hands, and we saw this other cabin that's like Leah's neighbor, because I don't think it was exactly. Leah's cabin. And we'll set him up in that, and that way, he won't die. He helped us out during the Whisperer War. I'll tell him it's an official banishment. But she wouldn't go back and be like, hey, I'll get Gabriel to approve a cart to bring back your shit if it was really a banishment, because they'd be like, no, you're fucking banished. Go, get out. So, yeah, it was bullshit. It was totally Carol deciding, Carol and Daryl. And they probably went to Maggie and said, we're going to do this. We're going to get rid of him. So you don't have to look at him, but we can't just kill him. And she's like, why not? I think we should. You got a baseball bat? I'll do it, but yeah, I think, I mean, again, I'm not that fond of Maggie at this point. So, I mean, I understand her feelings, but,
I have to say, though, I looking back on watching these last 6 episodes, I really didn't miss Maggie. I have to admit it. I didn't miss Maggie.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
To be honest, I was not fun. Like, I was cool with her up until the whole Negan part, and then there came a point where I was like, this is getting a bit redundant, like I'm not on board, because I'm not a Daryl fan, and those two were kind of like in cahoots for a little bit. So I was like, I don't know how I feel. Knew she's coming back. I'm also conflicted on Negan, but I also understand where Maggie's coming from, but I also kind of understand where Negan's coming from. So it's back and forth in my brain.
What I actually liked about Negan being banished was Negan really knows our people, and he showed that time and time again. But him saying, Carol, I'm just curious, is this you? He didn't say it like that, but he knew it was Carol. I was like, yes, he really knows our people, and I love that. And I'm like, when he said, because I didn't think that at first, but when Negan asked, I'm like, hell yeah, Carol did do that. 100% believe it. And she said, I don't want your death on my conscience, and now it's not. So
yep.
No, it's totally on your head. You're coming back, so yeah, it's so like Carol to do that. But I'm surprised. I mean, she had a relationship in Alexandria that was more tense than the one between her and Daryl. So wouldn't you want that to distract everybody from the fact that you and Daryl hate each other now? That's just my thought.
They had a disagreement. And I love how in the beginning, Carol was in the window just watching. Soon as Maggie walked outside with Herschel in the morning, she was like, yeah, I'm finna go put Negan out. I feel like that's when she made her decision. Carol is all.
I think you're completely right on that. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're completely 100% right on that.
Like, does she ever sleep? She knows everything that's going on at any given moment. It's crazy.
And also, like, I know we're obviously going to talk about Negan a lot, but little Herschel singing.
Yes.
Adorable.
Well,
kids being kids.
What's really weird, that song that he's singing, I wanted to look it up to see if it was public domain, and it's one of the most copyright, problematic songs in history because no one's exactly sure who wrote it. There's different people who potentially wrote it, and there's different people taking credit for it. And so they picked that song for him to sing. Yeah, that was, problematic song for a problematic situation. All right, so Negan, in all his wisdom, decides to go to the site of his defeat by Rick and find Lucille. Michonne, what was your thoughts about that?
When I first saw it, I looked at the stained glass. I'm like, it took me about 5 seconds, and that's where Rick slit his throat. He had a flashback to Michonne. She's still out there. I was like, it ain't no way he finna find this bat. This is a field, several acres. There's no way he is about to find this bat. And find it, he did. I couldn't believe he found it. I never wanted to see the thing again, but at least he got his closure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hama, your thoughts about him going back to find Lucille?
I think I pretty much said the same thing. And my reaction, I was like, how does he know where to look? Like, because he started to dig, and I was like, if he just digs and finds it, how did he know where? But he actually took the time and went around, and it actually looks like it legitimately wasn't buried. It looks like it was just left out there, and the elements just went over it. So I figured that was going to happen at some point. I'm pretty sure that was like a teaser, and I didn't watch it, so I'm really happy that I didn't see that because it was nice. You could actually see the emotion of like how real it was whenever he pulled it up and like he clearly thought about his wife and just had that whole moment of like realization. Like here it is, fine. Like here's my wife, pretty much.
Jazz, your thoughts?
I mean, I knew he was going to find it there. And yes, it was part of the teaser that I do watch. I do watch the teasers. So I mean, I knew it was coming, and I was ready for him. Like, but I was like, is he gonna go back to big bad Negan again, or is he gonna like stay reformed? I wasn't really sure how that was gonna play out, but that smile that he had, it did not like put chills up and down my spine.
Well, my thought when he found it was like, now what are you gonna do? I mean, walk around with that thing? You run into Maggie, she sees you with that. You think she's pissed at you now. You're walking around now with the bat that you used to bash in her husband's head. Proudly, if it didn't have issues and, and break, I mean, 6 years, 7 years out in the elements. Yeah, it's not going to last.
I love how they showed it decaying. If they would have buried it, I don't think he ever really would have found it. They didn't want nothing to do with that thing. They just left it out there like it was a piece of trash.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, if it had been like, I don't know, an aluminum bat and not falling apart, and what was he going to like bring this back to the cabin? And what, Carol's going to stop by and be like, you found the bat. What the? Why would he go back to that if he's supposed to be reformed? I just thought it was a bad idea. clinging to the past. I mean, yes, he named a stupid bat after his wife, but but all right. And then we had like flashback, and then we had a little more of a flashback, and then a little more. We had all these flashbacks. So we go back. Walla Biter, and he's thinking about this. Walla Biter is like walking up the hill towards him. We have a flashback to him being captured by this gang and the whole doctor thing. I mean, then it gets all muddled together. I mean, this like biker gang or whatever basically caught. Oh, there's some, I'm sorry, there's some fan stuff that I've been ignoring. Hold on one second here. Let me just bring up. We got a few things, and Sarah's going to pee real quick. So I think she's going to pee real quick. Let's see. In the chat, they're going to cut up on this one. We got to love you, Mama, and she's gone.
Right.
Marco says, my favorite people. Sonia Irna says, Mama. Yeah. And she also says she thinks it was Carol. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't they let him attend a council meeting about his fate? Well, maybe. Ms. Kayla says, here's Negan episode. It was great. It was like the comic, but in its own little way. Sonia Irna says, it's interesting how people keep making excuses for Negan murdering, torturing, and enslaving people, but insists Maggie should get over her husband's brutal murder in front of her.
I second that.
Yeah, I don't think she should get over it. I'm saying I don't like her.
That's not wrong. I'm not saying that's not wrong.
Yeah, that's not wrong at all.
Did Negan, Trell 8 says, didn't Negan make Carl sing that song? Did he sing You Are My Sunshine, or did he sing something else?
He made Carl sing something Lori used to sing him. Was it something else?
Was it Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star?
It might have been.
I feel like it was one of those.
Negan is so sick. He's so sick. I forgot about him and Carl.
Yeah. Ethan agrees with Sonia Irna. Like, we can't forget about how much of a dictator and how he enslaved Hilltop and Kingdom Way before we ever did them dirty by destroying their outpost. They deserved it. In that scenario, actually, Rick and his crew were like mercenaries hired by Hilltop to basically. So a lot of people are like, oh, Rick struck first, but he was basically hired to do this for food. So they were kind of being mercenaries. I'm not saying that was the best way to do it.
People honestly love to play. You go first.
Go ahead.
People love to play devil's advocate and bring up that damn outpost. You do one thing wrong in 12 years and people bring it up all the time, but Negan can be a dick the whole apocalypse damn near. And it's no, Rick attacked his outpost. Glenn deserved. Oh my God.
No, Glenn didn't deserve it.
Glenn did not deserve it.
I can't. We do
and
one
the
thing wrong
outpost
in 12 years.
I don't even know that it was wrong. I mean, they basically were hired. What they had was skills and fighting, which Hilltop needed. The only fighter they had was Jesus. And then they went to, so Hilltop said, we will give you food if you take care of these saviors. And that's where they are. So they went and did it.
And what if Hilltop were lying?
Yeah.
What's that?
What if Hilltop was lying the whole time? Hilltop was the bad guy, and we just signed him with the wrong. I've thought about that before.
You know what's crazy? If they wouldn't have can't come in from being with Negan and stab Gregory and cause the whole commotion, I wonder when Jesus would have told them. Like, how would that have played out if they didn't come in while Rick just so happened to be there? Yeah. Like, how would that have happened?
So Too Cool for School says, here's the thing though, Negan is not the same person we met at the season 6 finale.
And he wasn't the same person when we met at the season 7 premiere either, from the flashbacks, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the same person, but you're incarcerated for 6 years. That's going to change you.
He was truly rehabilitated. The justice system in the apocalypse is apparently better than the one here in real life. So hey.
You know, I will say this episode, while it was like really awesome, I think they nailed it, even though it was like really different from the comics. And normally I'm kind of a stickler for that. One thing that left me even more conflicted, and honestly, even more conflicted than like terrorizing the communities, honestly, like everything that Negan's done, the one thing that stuck out to me is that Negan tried so hard for Lucille. Like he was going out getting all her medicine. He learned how to do that. How did he get so far gone that he was forcing Sherry's sister into a situation for her to get her insulin? Like, how did he get that far from like doing everything for Lucille, but then forcing people into marriage for medicine? Like, how would he have felt if that was Lucille in that situation? I don't know. That part kind of blew my mind a little bit.
And remember the guy, the pretty boy face he melted? He Dwight separated the couple. No, not Dwight. He separated the couple. It was a blonde girl and a pretty boy. Yeah, he melted his face. Like, yeah, he was good for separating families and putting people at odds. She was going back and forth being a Negan's wife, but then she would like sneak off to go be with her real man. And Negan wasn't having it, so he melted his face. Yeah, so yeah, Negan was all for separating families.
Yeah, he was quite the psycho for a while. I mean, it's like he broke when Lucille died and he had to burn that thing. It's like he's totally broken and decided, I don't know, maybe if he couldn't be happy, no one was going to be happy, you know.
And keep in mind, he wasn't always like he was never really a good guy. He cheated on his wife with her best friend. So
her friend. Yep. Waited till she got cancer to love and appreciate her. Sir, it's too late. Where you been y'all whole relationship? And then you ain't paying no bills, laid up on the gang buying $600 jackets. Get your ass
bullshit right there.
And he threw out the receipt.
That man, Negan was something else, y'all. I'll always give Negan that. He didn't stand for rape. I will always give him that. Negan was fucked up, but he wasn't gonna stand for no rape. I let him have it. I let him have that. I let him have that.
But like, does he not? Because did those women want to be with him?
We know
he got them to agree. I mean, it was under duress.
Right? Do you want to work or do you want to be my wife?
Well, was that the case with Sherry's sister though? Because I don't feel like she got that option.
I don't know.
Well, Sherry's sister was not one of the wives, I don't think, but he might have been considering her for a wife.
Yeah, maybe they hadn't been there that long. I don't think they had been there that long. I know all the people that worked, they didn't have names. I think they had numbers. Like they were people that were making bread and just doing all the shit that the Saviors wasn't doing because they wasn't doing none of that domestic shit.
Yeah, I think when Dwight first joined the Saviors, Sherry was not Negan's wife. Then when they got captured or returned to the Saviors, you know, basically Sherry said, "I will be your wife. I'll join your harem. Just don't kill Dwight."
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you know, he said, "Okay, I'm not going to kill him. I'm going to melt half his face, you know, but, you know, I'm not going to kill him."
How do you even come up with that as a punishment? Let me get this iron, get it real nice and hot on the fire. What? Oh my God.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see a little bit more of his backstory to see, you know, where he came up with this shit. Rise of the Saviors or something.
Yeah, there you go.
I wanted to see more of how he started the Saviors too. We know Laura was the first Savior.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I was so excited to see her again.
And she gave him the bat and then he wrapped it up. So yeah, it was
that's the definition of you get somebody an inch and they take a mile. He gave Negan an inch and he took a whole mile with that damn bat.
Now I figure Franklin being a doctor, he probably didn't last too long. Because doctors in the apocalypse don't. So
that's true. When did Laura die on the show? Is she dead?
She died. She was Beta killed her.
Oh, fuck. Because I'm like, she was alive for a long time. No,
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, that sucks.
Too cool for school says if Lori was still alive, Negan would have made her his wife, and Rick would have went savage.
Oh, definitely. 100% agree with that.
First of all, Lori probably wouldn't have had no problem with it. I'm just going to say that. Lori was a good mama, and that was it. That was the only thing I liked about her.
And I don't think she was that good of a mama, but, you know, always losing track of Carl. So she could go bang Shane. But here's the thing, though. He wasn't necessarily going to different places to recruit wives. Because, I mean, why wouldn't he have taken, like, Rosita? If he was looking for very attractive women to, like, say, all right, I'm going to, you know, if he went to every community and went through and said, okay, I'm going to take all your hotties, you know, what he considered hotties, then
I feel like this is why we need a making of the Saviors, like miniseries at the very least, because how did he get members? I mean, he was gonna keep Daryl at one point. Is that just how he got him? He just like kidnapped him and threw him in a cell. Like,
what happened with? There's something with Simon.
How did he meet Simon? I'm curious.
Now that's what I want to know.
How did you bring him up?
Miss Simon either.
Yeah, Miss Kayla says we definitely need more Savior backstory. Probably would have got that, but this damn pandemic. No, I think what we need is a spinoff. And I hate to say we need a Savior spinoff before we need a Rise of the Governor spinoff, because we need that too, obviously. And I need to be David Morrissey's brother. But
I actually
we might have.
Was it Gimple that talked about the possibility of it being the mini series with different people's backstories? Was it Gimple that said that? This was a while ago too.
Well, he said there was the anthology series, and they would,
yes, that's what he said.
You know, potentially bring back some fan favorite characters, you know, explore backstories and stuff like that. So
I'm still down for like a what if background type of deal, like alternate universe thing. Like, what if Lucille lived? Like, what would it look like?
What if the governor hadn't beheaded Herschel and agreed to live in the prison?
You see what they did with just that Michonne's last episode. Fucked everybody up with the what if. I mean, y'all got it in you. I'm not opposed to it. I think every situation was different for every Savior. I don't know if Negan had a specific way he did it. I think it was catered to every person. I don't know to how they became the Savior.
Yeah, Ms. Kale also said we probably would have had a more comic accurate episode, but we are in the middle of a pandemic.
I'm glad
there's
it
only
was
so much they can do.
I'm glad we got more with it because it was beautiful and it was tragic. So
I like that. Obviously, they got his real life wife Hillary to play Lucille. Great casting, great choice. We know they kill it with the casting, and we got to see more of her. I like that.
Yeah.
Marco Boat says he remembers that Negan said he took over from Simon, or he took over. I'm not sure if he took over from Simon or he took over from someone else, and Simon was their number 2, and he kept them on or something like that.
And at what point, what was the size of the Saviors when that happened? See, now I got more questions.
Yeah.
Because Negan
Phyllis 2284, welcome back, Phyllis. She says JDM and Hillary were great together. But Negan should never be given a pass because of what he did to Abraham and Glenn.
He believes he should, and apparently he's the only one.
Yeah. I mean, it's still like murder.
You're pointing at me over here with that or something.
Are people never mistreating him one time while he was locked up and him still being alive? He just won't take that. That's not enough. He is going to make them accept him and love him as just like they do everybody else. And it's not going to happen, Negan. I'm sorry.
I mean, he's got to think, say Lucille had survived and someone else had captured him and Lucille and a bunch of other people, and someone took a baseball bat and bashed out Lucille's brains right in front of him. Would he ever forgive that person, no matter how much they seem to have?
No way.
Never would have been as gracious. Not even close.
He would not stop until that person was dead, as you can see from this episode.
No, Negan is sick. Remember what he told Rick? How he was gonna kill everybody? He said, "I'm gonna leave you alive for a few years just so you can stew on it." Oh, Negan.
No, that's what I'm saying. He would not let it go. Like he
Never.
He won't stop until he kills that person that did that. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I think he might have blamed to some extent the bikers who like captured him and held him.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So he blamed them, even though it appears that she probably killed herself almost immediately after he left. But he's not sure of that. So he's saying, okay, well, if you hadn't delayed me, I might have gotten back there. She might have still been alive. But you delayed me, and now something real horrible is going to happen to you. So
here's my question. Like, do you think that those last 3 treatments would have worked or not, basically? Because I'm like...
it is iffy.
When I tell you, I have no clue, because people with all the technology in the world still die from their cancer, but some people don't. So I don't know. I was thinking about what a different Negan he would have been if she would have still been alive. But 12 years into the apocalypse, do you think she really would have made it all 12 years? I mean, you were the one that was scared to kill walkers. And then when she died, you just didn't give a fuck. But
yeah, that was kind of hilarious how bad he was at killing Vitus.
Garbage.
How Eugene like he was.
Your wife had to come outside with her IV pole
and the last bullet
from one walker with their last bullet.
And then she's like, that was the last bullet. Whoopsie.
Well, apparently like, the line was originally supposed to be, I was saving that, I guess. So that's...
People was telling me that. I didn't catch that when I watched it. They was like, that
was they were talking about that on The Talking Dead later on.
Okay.
So.
Oscuro 4 wants a Rosita, Abe, and Eugene backstory.
Of course.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So we did get a bit of a
Eugene
and
Abraham
Abe
meeting. That was all we get.
Yeah, we got something.
There are a few that would be like really awesome to get like a backstory for, like Princess. I feel like that would be hilarious. Like how did she respond to first seeing a walker? King Ezekiel and Shiva.
I was about to say, how the hell did he become the king? And so animated. Yes.
Too cool for school says, was I the only one that was laughing when Negan said to Carol, you know, maybe you could put in a good word for me to Maggie? It's like, seriously, are you on drugs? You bashed your husband.
I was still maybe sobbing to like laugh during that. So
and he was serious. I literally said, Maggie, don't hit it, sir. Just let it go. You're alive and well.
You may have noticed it's a little tense between me and Maggie. A little tense. Yeah. A little tense.
That's putting it lightly.
Negan lives in his own world. It's hilarious.
Understatement of the century. And I'm sorry, you know, I understand that he may be reformed. He may do good things. He's done some nice things. He's helped save Judith during a winter storm.
When none of our people gave a fuck, they was going to let that little girl freeze to death. They didn't give a fuck. You ran away. Goodbye. They did not care. Nobody even flinched.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I was like, what?
Y'all spent all these years protecting this little girl, and now all of a sudden y'all don't give a fuck in this winter storm. I was so confused.
Like, there's been so many background scenes with the sweet, beautiful, amazing Tia Rosita and her just like Judith jumping into her arms like when she came. I'm like, and why? Why did she not go get her?
Rick and Michonne wasn't there. They showed their true colors. They said, fuck Judith.
She's not even Rick's kid anyway, so, you know.
That doesn't mean anything.
Walsh. Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, he's done some good stuff, but I mean, how much do you have to do to make up for? I mean, he had to kill a lot more people than just Abraham and Glenn.
Of course.
And, you know, be responsible for Sasha's death. And, you know, he basically started all these battles that, you know, indirectly he killed Tobin, he killed Eric, he killed all these other people, you know, through this war, you know. So what do you do with a guy like that? It's like, yeah, you're doing some nice things, but
he was taking at least half people's shit in the apocalypse. If you don't have enough, go find an sir. It is the end of the world. And he was still taking at least half people's shit.
And he
was sick of doing dog food with hot sauce, I think. So
when she said dog food.
He took the mattresses from Alexandria.
Oh my
and they
God.
burnt them.
The mattress scene, I still get mad about that.
It's like, really? You had to take the mattresses and just burn them?
Just a waste. You can't have anything. What did he tell Rick? You work for me now.
Well, wouldn't he work more efficiently if he had a nice
bed
pleasant
to
sleep on a real mattress?
Have some food to fuel yourself. Yeah. I mean, you think so, but.
So we agree that Negan, other than the time he spent with his wife, was a shit before the apocalypse, and then he became a shit afterwards.
Yep.
So
literally the only time he was sweet. Mm-hmm.
He had a few good weeks.
And his last name was Smith.
I laughed.
Negan Smith. What the fuck?
Smith, I don't even think Smith goes with Negan. It could have been Negan.
I agree. I thought it was just such a random. I mean, I know it's like the most popular name, but it seems so random.
It's almost like we have. His parents were like, we have the worst, most boring last name ever. Let's give him a really fucked up name we'll call him Negan. Because is Negan actually a common name for anybody?
I've never heard of that until I started watching The Walking Dead. So,
I mean, yeah, it's just.
I thought maybe at first it was like, just a name he made up for himself.
Kirkman actually talked about Negan's name before. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I think there is a Negan somewhere. I don't remember. But he was trying to think of a name that just sounded mean. And he just came up with Negan. I've never heard Negan before, so I don't know.
I mean, for the most part, I mean, they got to be running out of names. Every friggin' person in this show has a different name. The closest we got was Rick and a Richard. That's the closest we got to people having the same base name, but
Carol and Carl.
Carol and Carl, but
I mean, I know they're different genders, but I mean, you take a vowel out of there.
Yeah, it's close, but
well, we have a reverse. We have Tara and Arat.
Oh,
that's true.
That's true, but every person they meet, I mean, they have an Ezekiel, and then who's the guy in the mask? That's also
Elijah?
an E name.
Oh,
Elijah.
Yeah, Elijah. Yeah.
It's we don't meet another. How many Johns, Michaels? Is there even a Michael in the show? I'm trying to remember.
I don't recall a single Michael or a John now that I'm thinking about it.
I mean, we have John Dory in Fear, but I mean, were there any Davids?
Morrissey. No, I'm just playing.
Hey, that's my cousin.
Right. I don't know if we have any Davids. I forget a lot of people's names too if they aren't main characters.
So we have all these people, but some of the most popular names. When I was in elementary school, there were at least like 5 or 6 Davids. There were a bunch of Michaels.
Katie.
Johns, there were tons.
Jessica.
Yeah, Katie, Jessica, Megan.
The only common names I remember are maybe like a Brittany and a Brianna.
Oh, and there's Ashley too.
Which we have a Brianna in the comics, so.
I went to school with a bunch of
I'm older
Sarahs.
than all y'all, so that's why I remember. But
wait, back to the scene when we saw the mailbox. It was so dark outside. I'm like, and then when I saw Smith, I'm like, for real, Smith?
Well, I couldn't believe why they did that though, because again, this was a Talking Dead thing. Is that so? It could be like anybody. It could be your next door neighbor or the person you used to know 20 years ago, because it's such a common name. That's what they said.
Crazy. I couldn't believe he didn't put her down. He burned that bitch. His whole old life was gone. And
she even said on the door, "Please don't leave me this way."
Well, burning took care of it, but it's you know.
And then he kicked the door down. It's like he instantly got that
Negan vibe,
Negan swag. Literally, as soon as she died, it kicked right in. I'm like, oh wow, so he just went cold.
Well, you know, burning down your old life is kind of something I can relate to, you know.
Facts.
It's something that you do, you know, and it's like it's time to move on. Forget the past. Let's burn everything down.
And then we also sorry.
No, I was just about to say it didn't even look like he packed.
No.
Like he literally burnt that bitch and left to go kill them dudes.
He went outside, he clipped barbed wire, wound it around his bat, got his little jacket on, and just popped it out. He's out.
Yep. He didn't grab any supplies. He didn't grab any he didn't grab the medicine to return it to the doctors to say, hey, someone else might need this.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
Yeah.
I didn't even pick that up on. I was just like,
he didn't pack shit. He had the little messenger bag on, but it was so flat. He probably really had shit in there. Whatever he had came with, like that's your house. It wasn't nothing in your whole house you could have packed. Maybe a couple of knives, you know, anything.
Well, I mean, he didn't have his back, so.
He could have grabbed that cool half moon shirt that Lucille was wearing.
Right.
Which I didn't notice.
I didn't notice that. Hey, they were fans. Interesting.
I didn't notice that. People kept telling me. I was like, oh, shit. She looked good as a walker, though. The bald cap, the little meat coming off her head. Oh, she looked good. She looked good.
Which pretty much tells you that she'd been dead for weeks. So probably the bikers didn't have anything.
I guess, because that's how long he was, you know, locked up for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was gone for 6 weeks when he reached the doctors.
Oh,
and then he got captured.
On the way home. He was almost at the house.
All right. So it was probably more like 12 weeks then.
Well, I don't know about 12 weeks, but it was at least a couple of weeks because, you know, he was on his way home and then they like went and he told them someplace where they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to have time to go check that out and come back and be like, no, they weren't there. Now you better tell us the truth or we're going to kill you, and pour this medicine down the toilet. And then finally he gave up on him. So, you know, he gave him up to them. Were those guys like just looking to get high or what?
You know they were. I was like, what kind of pharmaceuticals y'all looking for? Like, did they want opioids? Like, I don't even, like, what were y'all going to do with them? Like, I don't.
It's like, what do you think? What? Do y'all have the clap or something? Because you've been,
like,
so y'all need penicillin?
I don't know.
Was there any more of that dried up, you know, joint left over? Maybe you could have given them that and they would have been happy.
That scene, I love that. That was so funny to me. I didn't know what was going to be in that little pouch.
Well, when he smiled, I was like, oh, he's got something good. But unfortunately, that's what caused the whole problem. They both got high and passed out and forgot to turn back on the generator. And
it's like, if Negan wouldn't have been a pussy with killing walkers, he wouldn't have to go out there and turn the generator off all the time. Just kill the damn walker. It's one. It's just one. You are a grown ass man. You beat the shit out of somebody at a bar for getting rude with your wife, but you won't go put down one walker. They're not even alive. So, like, for real, you almost killed that man with your bare hands, but you can't go put down a walker. Don't make sense.
Well, hopefully that guy is dead at this point. Who is so rude to his wife? But yeah. I mean, when I saw the guy, you know, basically threatening Negan, I'm like, you're going to be dying at some point, and you're such an asshole.
Just depends when it comes.
So it's like, I am anticipating your death. It's going to be good.
Am I the only person that felt like Negan was like, I really feel like as soon as she died, he got his evil Negan swag. The way he kicked the door down, went to go kill those dudes. He had the real good, deep, raspy Negan voice on when he was telling that story. I'm like, he was not just talking like this to his wife. He was not just talking like this to the doctor. This is the cold Negan. The way he's telling that story.
That's exactly when it happened.
When she died.
He didn't care anymore. He was just like, whatever, you know?
He's like, I have nothing.
You gotta go kill people now.
Yeah. I'm going to just take my revenge. I'm going to do what I want. And yeah, everything good in him died with her.
He told that story so good. Mm-hmm. He took $1 out his wallet and played his wife's song twice. Oh, Negan is cold-blooded.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, the guy had kids who went to the school that Negan taught at. So, whoopsie. That's a problem.
Fired.
Yeah, well, apparently he was an asshole anyway. So,
Chris SCR5S says, in my opinion, I feel like the ending, we see that Negan is going to go back to his rebellious self, and he's putting an end to the harsh punishment he's getting. So he's going to be like, what? So I kill some people. I don't know that he's going to get that bad, but I think he's kind of tired of being treated like a pariah. And you got to admit, some of the other people in the community who weren't there to see the death, you know, there's not that many people who were around to see him bash in Abraham's head and Glenn's head. So there's not as many people around who are like holding him at such arm's length. You know, that Barbara that was working, you know, with him. So watch if that name is used again. But, you know, she was working with him and didn't seem to have any problem with him. Sydney Swap, I'm sorry if I mispronounced, said he didn't take anything because he didn't take anything because without her, he didn't care if he lived or died. I feel like going after the biker was originally a suicide mission. Then he figured I was capable of damn near anything as long as he felt nothing. So
I don't think it was a suicide mission. He got drunk. Well, I don't think he got drunk because he was still driving his motorcycle just fine. He was drinking, crying, burnt the house down, and he was like, I'm finna go kill me some people. I don't think, like, Carl went on the suicide mission. I think Negan just went to go kill somebody.
I don't think he was thinking that far ahead. Like, he was just thinking about,
I don't think Negan is ever going to turn back to a big bad Negan. That Negan is dead and gone. There's literally no chance that will come back. He even said when he cried at the fireplace that I'm going to go live my life now like you want me.
And I'll fight for you. This is what he said too. So I'll do your fighting for you. Excuse me.
Yes. So yeah, big bad Negan is dead. Y'all just need to leave him where he at. He's dead. He's not coming back. He still talks shit. Still got his wits, but
I mean that's all I care about. You know, is that sassy Negan, man.
He still got the same mouth.
And I still think that we're gonna see some stuff going down between him and Maggie for sure. But I'm still pretty confident in saying that I think he'll probably I'm not sure if he'll end up meeting his demise, but he'll definitely somehow save little Herschel and somehow in the next season before the show.
He'll be like, "Don't you touch my son! Don't you touch my son!" Yeah, she's gonna be like that. I can swear.
I don't know how Negan's gonna fare through the rest of Walking Dead, but I just don't see anyone killing him because that would just be stupid at this point. It wouldn't even make sense. It would be a disservice to the story. I'm sick of looking at you. You killed my husband, stab. That would make no sense at all after all this time. But him saving Herschel and dying, okay, maybe I could see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only way I can see it happening myself. So.
I mean, I just don't understand how he can translate into the Commonwealth in any way because I mean in the comics, like they kind of bring a brigade around and show everything off. Well, it's not like they can just be like, okay, Negan, just like get in this closet, don't say anything to anyone. So like I don't know how he can go forward, but obviously he is, and I agree. I don't think it would make any sense to kill him at this point because I mean, he's been around so long. If you want to do anything, it really should have been right at the start. But because the decision was made and it's been years, it would really just be like a disservice to just kill him.
And she wanted to go back on Rick and Michonne's decision, which I was like, okay, he killed your husband. If you're going to do it, do it. And she didn't even do it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You didn't do it when nobody held you back. They let you could have beat his head into the cell walls if you wanted to, and you didn't do it. So
yeah.
Yeah, she kind of lost her chance there, but now she's kind of regretting it.
Yeah, she's probably.
I mean, I don't think she probably ever thought she'd see a future where he'd be out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She just thought it was going to be there forever.
Same. That's literally how I feel. It was a lot going on this episode. It was so good.
Yeah. Literally, like after I got done watching it, I felt so exhausted. I mean, that's how That's how intense it was for me. I was exhausted when it was over.
Well, the episode prior to this one, when it was over, I'm like, what the fuck did I just watch? When this one finished, I was like, now that was awesome. I mean,
easily one of the best episodes in the series.
Yeah, it didn't have action all the way through. We don't need them fighting Bitas all the time, but it was just engaging. It was a great story. And yeah, I mean, Negan was a great guy for a very short period of time. And
very short.
I mean, 6 weeks after her diagnosis, they're basically fighting off Bitas and all that stuff. But yeah, I did again find it funny. It was like we go back 12 years, then we go back like 6 weeks, or no, 2 or 3 days, then we go back 6 weeks,
and then it was a little bit more after that.
Then we go back like 2 or 3 months, or what 3 months or something, and
I think he was taking care of her maybe 3 months during the first beginning of the apocalypse, because he was telling the doctor about the calendar that the doctors gave them. So yeah, I think they were in their house for still the first 3 months. When I was like, oh wow, that's a long time to be at home.
Wow, really? What's this last year been to you?
Oh my goodness. That's a whole nother story. I'm like, wow, no one is burst in their house and murdered them, but a lot of people left their homes when the apocalypse happened and moved toward the country instead of regular neighborhoods. So I guess it would make sense that nobody bothered them.
It does seem interesting that like everywhere they go, it's like either wilderness or like log cabins. You don't go anywhere and you don't see like any neighborhoods like the one that they were living in with all the kids around. It's like those neighborhoods, they never go to those. I mean, Alexandria is kind of a neighborhood, but around it is like nothing. Even though we know if you look a little further, you actually see Sonoy. But you know, it's interesting that they stay so far out in the country. You would think that you go a little bit further, and Daryl could have found very easily, you know, friggin' garages that were shut down that he could have gone in and gotten tools to fix his friggin' bike instead of having to fight, you know, army guys off. You know,
I'm gonna need Walking Dead to put out a map because I really want to know where everything is in relationship to each other. Like how it take y'all a day about to get the hilltop. I need to see where everything is. Where is that big ass canyon the horde was at? Where's Oceanside? Where's the kingdom? I really need a Walking Dead universe map. Please. I don't think they want to give one. I don't think I want to give one either, but I will greatly appreciate it.
Make it happen. Come on.
Please. Yeah, we need that.
Because then they'd have to like explain the convoluted routes, because Alexandria, Virginia, you know, is a city, right? I mean, I've not been there, but it's got to be
in DC.
I mean, they have the Alexandria, you know, area that they're in, but there's got to be a city nearby, right? You know, it just seems.
I don't want it to be like a real life map, like this is here, this is here. I want it to be like a literal map, like if they were to make one in Walking Dead, like a poster, like Alexandria, Hilltop Kingdom. Like that's what I want to see.
Like friggin' Middle Earth. Like a map of Middle Earth. Exactly. This is where Mordor is over here. This is where the elves live.
I really need that because I don't know.
I want a US map with, well, actually, maybe even like surrounding areas with certain character journeys, because I want to know Morgan, Dwight, like wherever these guys will walk to, like around the globe, like
across the country.
Yeah, that's crazy. I want to know. We need multiple maps. Okay, Walking Dead, listen. We have some ideas.
You're taking away our show. This is what we want now.
Yeah.
I feel like Fear has done more traveling than Walking Dead. They done been yeah, for sure. They've been to different countries, so.
Well, California is where they started. Now they're in Texas, you know.
Mexico.
Yeah, they've been all over the place.
Aren't they up in Oregon too for a while? Or are they just talking about that Northwest stuff?
I don't remember. Mexico.
No, isn't that the World Beyond?
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's World Beyond. It's World Beyond. Because I feel like they went California, Mexico, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Good thing there wasn't a wall. They could have had some trouble.
Timing.
Yeah, there was a. I don't know if it's actually that real. Because again, when I'm watching Fear and they're like, we only have a few gallons left, so we're gonna run out of gas in 10 miles. It's like, I understand your cars might not be as efficient as they once were, but really you're down to a couple gallons and you can't go like 30 miles, 40 miles of 2 gallons of, at least 20 miles off of, 2 gallons of gas. I mean, my SUV doesn't do that badly. Come on. So,
That's a good point.
yeah, there's a lot of things that we have to suspend disbelief for. But so our overall thoughts on this episode has been that
It was amazing.
Negan was awesome.
Lucille is a badass.
What's that?
That Lucille is a badass.
Lucille was the one carrying friggin' Negan.
Literally.
Yep.
Literally. Yeah, I said my reaction, behind every wimpy guy, there's a woman with a gun and an IV.
Or a bat.
I gotta go watch that. Yeah, look, I don't like how Negan strolled back into Alexandria like he never got put out. I didn't appreciate that at all.
I didn't either.
Well, I mean, he like we were talking about earlier, I think he knew that it was a Carol thing though too. So
It was the laughing while looking at Maggie for me.
Well, he was smiling.
You know how he do like that smile, but it's like a giggle, but it's not, and he be looking like, you know what I'm talking about, that face Jeffrey be doing.
Yeah.
Why are you looking dead at Maggie while doing that? Yeah, bitch,
Well,
I killed your husband and I'm walking back in here. That's how she felt.
Yeah.
I guess they did a bunch of different takes of him doing that, and that's the one that they chose was the one with him smiling at her too. So
It's just so vegan. Leave that lady alone. I think I honestly still to this day don't know if Daryl is necessarily the reason that Glenn got killed, because he was going to make Maggie one of his wives. He knew Maggie and Glenn were together before all of that happened, before he killed anybody, because Glenn jumped out of his body when he acted like he was going to kill Maggie. So he already knew it was something with them too. Then you kill her husband. Then when you come back to Alexandria, you looking for her because you want her to be one of your wives. Oh no, sir. I'm so happy they acted like she was dead.
So he probably wouldn't have killed him right then, but he probably would have ended up killing him at some point later down the road.
Yeah, I think Glenn had it coming anyway. Unfortunately from Negan, because Negan had plans for your wife. She beat your head in. He beat your head in, and then went to Alexandria and was looking for your wife to claim her as his. I'm so happy.
Which is really weird because, I don't think even the governor was like, let me just kill somebody's husband right, in front of her. And then, she'll fall into line. She'll be in my bed like that. I mean, what was he thinking?
Honestly, the women came to the governor, which is funny.
Yeah.
Negan would go to the women, but the women came to the governor. I give him that.
Yeah,
Andrew
governor
ain't the only one. The governor had women. I think we might have talked about this before. The governor had women. He wasn't hurting for no women, so yeah.
And he didn't have to have a friggin' harem. He didn't have to force anybody to be with him. So, yeah. Nope. Negan 70 million and governor 70 million, Negan 0. So if we're keeping score.
Right. And speaking of Negan, this is the same guy that thought that a doctor let one of his wives out, so he threw him in a fucking fire and killed him. I'm talking about, you would have to do nothing for Negan to kill you. What? What? You let Sherry out, I'm going to murder you in front of everyone and make a lesson out of you. What? A doctor?
Yeah, he is.
So what happens if your one doctor die and you got to get your arm cut off?
Clearly, he doesn't think that far ahead. So
he don't care, girl.
He got so drunk with power, that must have been it. He just figured he is capable of anything, and then he proved it. He did whatever the hell popped into his head because, you know, there's part of him that probably didn't even really care about that much about dying. It's not like he was going to, you know, jump in front of a bullet, but it's like, you know, when you got nothing to lose, you know,
just live life off the real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Dwight got tired of him. Dwight put up with so much of Negan shit over the years. You know it was real when Dwight had it.
Yeah.
He wasn't crazy enough for Simon, and he was too crazy for Dwight. Dwight had it. After Sherry was gone, I have no loyalty to Negan. Here's the information. We're gonna take him down.
Exactly.
Those are always about Sherry for Dwight.
I wanted to see Dwight in Here's Negan. I like that they did it different than the comics, but I would have liked.
And that's again why we need a Saviors prequel. Just saying.
I wanted to see the Dwight that stole Daryl motorcycle. That's what I wanted to see.
I think I saw an article where was it Angela was talking about it. Maybe someone listening can help me out. Where there was, because of the pandemic and because of how filming was going with like Fear and The Walking Dead and like the distance and all of the stuff that had to be involved, it just could not happen.
Mm.
Which is sad. I would have liked to see him back, but I was also really so stoked to see Laura because I don't know why, but I just really liked her. I'm so happy.
Right? She always seemed like she was really cool. She didn't want to be in Negan shit. She was just getting by. I like Laura.
She wasn't a wife either.
Yeah.
No.
Sonia Irna says Maggie should shoot Negan in the knee. It would hurt like a mother and give him a permanent injury.
There you go.
Like he gave her a permanent injury. But Ethan says, let's take a moment of silence for Sean's reaction video. Did yours get claimed or something?
Oh my God. No, okay. So to anybody that don't know, I've been tweeting about this and crying about this on YouTube. I recorded my entire Here's Negan reaction and my Fear 6-8, but fuck Fear 6-8. I recorded my entire Here's Negan reaction with no audio at all. So I'm currently doing a voiceover of myself, which is hilarious, but it's a mess, but it'll never happen again. Lesson learned. Out of all episodes, yes, let's do this when the show is ending and it's Here's Negan. So, yeah.
What's interesting is I uploaded my my reaction after finished editing it and all that, and I will, unless the file goes corrupt, I should always have audio because I have an awesome camera woman and sound monitor in my girlfriend. But I uploaded it and immediately it got a copyright claim. And I'm like, I put the grade over it. I put the logo. What the hell? So I actually deleted that, went back in, increased the opacity on those two things, rendered it again, uploaded it, and no problems. So apparently I had too little opacity, or they're just getting trickier. I don't know.
The thing, when I upload this Here's Negan reaction, I know it's not gonna work, but I really want to try to just upload the full uncut thing because I already have to do a voiceover and this shit is taking so long. This whole thing was 50 something minutes. I'm only at like the 5-minute mark with the voiceover. And I got like maybe like 80% of what I was saying, because if I can't read my lips, it's just not gonna have a voiceover. If they would just copyright it but not block it, I would be perfectly fine. But when they block it, it's what bothers me. Why are you blocking it? Let the people watch it. That's my thing. It bothers me.
Yeah, I actually put one thing that they blocked in some countries, or might have blocked it entirely, on my Patreon, but as a freebie. So anyone could go to Patreon and actually watch it. So apparently Johnny didn't get the invite. I guarantee that I emailed it to him, but it must have gone into his spam folder. So
we missed you, Johnny.
He messaged me and said I didn't get the invite, and I sent him the link through Twitter, but I don't know if he went on to do something else. He's probably working on that reaction video because there's a lot of people reacting. And I got to say that Here's Negan out of the 6 has been the most popular reaction thus far. So,
of course.
So good luck.
I should just send Johnny my full reaction. Take whatever you please, sir. I'm struggling. Just take whatever you want out of this, please, because I can't. I don't want to edit this and post it on YouTube. Just take whatever you want out of this, please.
But he'll just have you going without any sound.
So far, I'm doing so good with the voiceover, but it's hilarious. Like some parts, like you can't, like if you're just watching it, you can't really tell that I'm doing the voiceover because I'm like really into it. But it's a mess. I didn't want to.
You gave away the secret. Now we know you're doing the voiceover.
I made a whole intro for it. And explained to everybody the fuckery because it would have been up already. But I cried about it for like a day, however long it's been. I cried about it and I was like, okay, I don't want to post nothing because I rewatched it and I was like, that don't feel right. Let me just go on and do the voiceover. I guarantee you it'll never happen again. Ever. Never. I will cherish every episode of season 11. Never.
I am getting the sign that we have to wrap up. So let's do our final thoughts and shameless self-promotion. Let's start with Mama Deadhead.
Oh, I'm Mama Deadhead. You can find me at Mama Deadhead on pretty much any social media. I don't write for Undead Walking anymore, but I still write for Cultress, so you can catch me there too. And just want to say that it doesn't matter what you do, girl. We love you. You could literally just upload a black video with some words, and we would love you. It doesn't matter. We come here for you. So go to her channel and watch all her videos because I know she's sad.
Girl.
Which is a great segue to Michonne. Tell us all about where to find you.
First, I love Sarah as well, and I love the fact that we can enjoy each other's videos and we have completely different favorite characters. Love that. My YouTube channel, Michonne, is pretty much going to go to sleep, but in the description of literally every video on that channel is the links to everything. You can find me everywhere. I'm going to be posting on my food channel, recipes, all different kind of things. I'm getting back on Twitch. I'm going to be playing Outlast. So I'm not leaving the internet, but the Michonne channel is pretty much going to go to sleep until Walking Dead season 11.
You're not going to do Fear? You're not going to do Fear reaction?
Fear is definitely going to go on Patreon, but I don't know if I'm going to put it on YouTube. I always tell people,
breaking her heart right now. So,
and I always tell people, Walking Dead is my favorite show. So I will go through all the trials and tribulations for Walking Dead. But as far as anything else, I don't know. But I did promise everybody that once I am completely done, I'm talking about Walking Dead is sleep gone, season 11 over, I will be doing Game of Thrones on YouTube because that has been requested 10 million times. So I'm definitely doing Game of Thrones on YouTube. So yeah, my channel is just going to sleep until season 11, but I'll still be everywhere else.
All righty. And Jazz.
All right. Well, you can find me here at Wizard World, obviously. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And Instagram, and you can also hunt me down at Jazzy Diva, JAZZZYDIVA, 3 Z's in there, and just send me a friend request and I'll let you in. So
she's not all that picky.
She promoted her account. I love it.
Yeah, like finally, I'm like maybe I should get back into my personal account again. So I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, they call me the governor, but I am on Fandom Spotlite, the channel on YouTube, fandomspotlight.com, where we have lots of articles and photo galleries and all that kind of stuff. And we've just started doing some panel reactions. Like last night, we did a panel of people talking about Godzilla versus Kong. So that was fun. So we'll be doing that for the next one is Mortal Kombat.
I was going to ask, was there going to be Mortal Kombat soon? So
yeah, Mortal Kombat, and we actually have it so that people can go to fandomspotlight.com and sign up for a chance to be on that panel. We're basically going to pick, people can apply, and we're going to pick the best ones and randomly throw a dart, and somebody's going to be on the panel with us, and they can say whatever they want, within reason, keep it somewhat civil about Mortal Kombat. And we're also planning on doing some other stuff. We might even do stuff for like Loki. I'm thinking about maybe the Bad Batch, stuff like that. So yes, I see Sarah's very excited about the Bad Batch. So yeah, Fandom Spotlight, SPOTLITE on on Twitch. You can check us out there. You can go to Twitter. You can go to Instagram. You can go to Facebook. We're everywhere. And fandomspotlight.com. And thanks, guys, for joining us. This has been the end of the Walking Dead part, but we will be talking about Fear the Walking Dead starting next week. I know some people have already seen it because of AMC premiere. That's fine, but we're going to talk about it after it hits for the general public. So we're not about that spoiler life. So everyone, thanks for watching, and go to wizardworld.com to check out the signature series. Everyone wave goodbye. Governor and this crew out.
Don't forget to watch Invincible.
This is John Glover, and you are watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Lionel Luther recommends it. Have some fun. Follow your fandom.